Hi everyone, my name is Cynthia. Let's talk books. And today I have a haul. So, because I bought most of these books in January, a lot of them had to do with like after Christmas, New Year's sale, that kind of thing, and then other stuff I just kind of really wanted. So, let's get started, and I'll start with kind of the newest book that just came in, and this is Sunburn by Lippman. I know very little about the premise of this book. It's a couple that need like on some sort of roadside like place, and they're heading in totally different directions, and they just can't leave each other. I got this book. It is going to be actually the February book club pick for my in-person book club. But we chose this in part because it was in Roxane Gay's like top books of 2018. So I think if you want to check it out, I'll try to link that down below because yeah, if she recommends it, then I think it's going to be really good. I know people really like Lippman, and I've never read anything by her, so here's hoping that this is a good one. Okay, next book looks amazing. Look at this cover. Oh my god. I'm such a sucker for these kinds of beautiful, vibrant covers. So this is Oh My Gods by Alexandra Sheppard. And it is about a teenage girl who finds out that her parents are gods. It's like from the Olympians. They're Greek gods. And yeah, hilarity will ensue, I'm guessing. It looks really good, and I'm probably about to go on a Greek myth binge because I am just reading The Song of Achilles. I've got I've got Circe, and I've got The Silence of the Girls next on my lineup. So this will be a fun kind of quick read. Next up is a book that I know very little about. It's Bonjour, Tristesse by Françoise Sagan. This I'm hoping to add to my reading French fiction series on this channel. So I don't know a ton about it. Let me read the back real quick. Endearing, self-absorbed 17-year-old Celine is the very essence of untroubled immorality. Freed from the stifling constraints of boarding school, she joins her father, a handsome, still young widower with a wandering eye, for a carefree 2-month summer vacation in a beautiful villa outside of Paris with his latest mistress, Elsa. Cecile cherishes the free-spirited moments she and her father share, while plotting her own sexual adventures with a tall and almost beautiful law student. But the arrival of her late mother's best friend, Anne, intrudes upon a young girl's pleasures, and when a relationship begins to develop between the adults, Celine and her lover set in motion a plan to keep them apart, with tragic, unexpected consequences. That sounds good. I like that, and it's short, so I like that too. At least for right now. When the semester starts, I find that shorter reads are easier for me to tackle. All right. Next book I have here is Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. And this is a story that I heard from several people. So it's set in Japan, and it's about a woman who has trouble relating to people and like reading social cues and all of that. And she kind of finds her place in a Japanese convenience store. Apparently there is some heaviness in here. Yeah, so I will be reading this soon, hopefully. Next up is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. So I had purchased in my last haul the second book in this series. I didn't know it was a series until one of you mentioned it. But because it is a series and the second one sounded so good, I went ahead and picked this one out. So it follows Mary Jekyll. Yeah, Mary Jekyll, alone and penniless following her parents' death, quickly finds herself drawn into the secrets of her father's mysterious past. That's all I really need to know. There's a little bit of mystery and fantasy going on, and it sounds like a really nice kind of quick read. So, hoping it's good. The next book is a recent release, and it's The Gilded by Roshani Chokshi. And it is set in 19th century France, so around the time of the World's Fair, when the Eiffel Tower is being created, and that's all I really need to know. Like, I really don't know anything else about the story. Oh, and there's some sort of like hunt for some artifacts, so it's a little bit of like treasure hunt, 19th century Paris. I am gonna love this book. I mean, a lot of people are really liking it, so I'm hoping I'm really gonna love it. But anything set in 19th century Paris is thumbs up for me. Next up is Agatha Christie's The 13 Problems. So this book I got because it is part of Mission Marple, a kind of series started by Murata from Books Like Whoa. I'll list her channel down below. And so the people following along for Mission Marple have already gotten through this one. So I have yet to get to it, but it is next on the list for me. So it just follows it's like a cozy mystery following one particular detective, Miss Marple. And then this one I also purchased, Agatha Christie, The Murder at the Vicarage. So this is the first Miss Marple in the series, and it was really good. I've already read it. FYI, and spoiler alert for my February wrap-up, that I really enjoyed it, and I really like these editions of it. These are HarperCollins editions, and they're like recreating like the original covers of these Agatha Christie books, and I just really like them. Next book is also by Agatha Christie, and it's The Body in the Library. So it's another Miss Marple, and this one's fairly short. I'm really excited to continue reading Miss Marple, especially after reading Murder in the Vicarage and really liking it. Next up is The Manchurian Candidate by Richard Condon, and this is a book that I've been meaning to read for a few years now. Ever since we taught the story when I was TAing in graduate school, we watched the movie, we did a whole lesson about it, and one of the things I learned is that there's more to the story in the book, and it really made me want to read it. So in case, it's like a very Cold War book. I'm like, in case you don't know anything about it, it's this presidential candidate who's basically been brainwashed and controlled by the communist regime in China. And so it's kind of like, fears about communist infiltration of the U.S. And like other really cool themes like about women and mothers, and there's a lot of cool stuff. So I really want to read it. Maybe this summer, read it, watch the 2 movies, and then kind of do a kind of full video on the Manchurian Candidate stuff. The next book that I bought is called The Silent Boy by Andrew Taylor, and this is a book set in the French Revolution. And I haven't come across a whole lot of these, but a student in my Modern France class last semester read it and really recommended it. So I am going to check it out and for my French classic series. Next up is Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, and it's a book that several people on BookTube have talked about and raved about, and it just looks fantastic. It looks like it's a bunch of killer nuns. I'm sold. That's all I need to know. I believe the 3rd in the series is coming out this year, so I better get on it because I think I'm gonna love this one. Next book that I bought is Dragon Shadow by Elle, Katherine White, and this is the second book. It's the sequel to Heartstone, which is a Pride and Prejudice retelling with dragons. I really liked Heartstone. Read it from my book club. So when I saw this at Barnes & Noble, I grabbed it. Next book is a recent release, and it is Slayer by Kristen White. It follows the mythology of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but we're following a different Slayer now. And it turns out, I think she's going to be like the last Slayer in the line. And I just like, oh my god, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I love rewatching it. And I just need me some, Slayer fix. And I think this is going to do it. Next is The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. This is the sequel to The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. And I love that book. I just read it in January. As soon as I finished reading that one, I picked this one up at Barnes & Noble. And I'm really looking forward to it because it follows Monty's sister. And I was really intrigued by her story. So I'm glad that we're going to get to follow her for an entire book. Okay, last book that I picked up. I picked up at my used bookstore, and it is in excellent condition, like really, really good condition. It is The Dark Forest by Cixin Liu, and it is the sequel to, what is it, The Three-Body Problem. So it's a Chinese sci-fi story, and I haven't read the first one yet, The Three-Body Problem, but when I saw that my used bookstore had a really excellent copy of the sequel, I just picked it up, because even if I don't like it, you know, that's always the risk with buying like second books before you read the first one, is that if you end up hating the first one, what are you going to do? But I think it's worth it for cheaper price and like hardcover, excellent condition. Like, I'm mad. So that is it. Those are all the books that I purchased in January. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I'll probably be reducing the amount of books that I buy in future hauls, because once I start working, I honestly, like, I'm too tired weekends and I need rest and I don't have time to go to the bookstore. And other times I'm so stressed that I need stress relief and I need to go to the bookstore. So we'll see how this goes. Right now I've got shelf space in the house and I've got disposable income, so I'm spending some of it on books. Anyways, that is it for me. If you've read any of these books, let me know down below. That way I can start organizing them on my TBR and prioritizing the ones that need to be prioritized. And yeah, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.